Ooh, what it do? Chris, aka Mr. Vibing here, back in action. So I seen Fantastic Four First Steps. It was a pretty cool movie. If you know comic books and catch up on all the Easter eggs that they dropped, you're going to get where they're going for the phase six of the MCU. So let's talk about it. I'm a little congested. Work with me here. I'll work with y'all. Let's get this together. I got some good stuff to tell y'all. Um, let's just jump into it. Sue and Mr. Fantastic, they're trying to have a baby. Doesn't work. 2 years later, she does get pregnant with their first child, Frank. And if you guys know anything about Frank, he is an Omega level powered mutant. I mean, this guy is strong. We're going to get into that too. So they are pregnant. Everybody finds out. They're happy. And next thing you know, Silver Surfer, Shalabah, she comes in and talk about, yeah, you guys are going to die. And they're like, what? So what they do is they, meaning Fantastic Four, go out to try to strike a deal with Galactus. Yes, we get Galactus in this movie. It's not a shadow. It's not a cloud. Like, we actually get Galactus, like 50, 11 feet tall, busting through buildings trying to get Frank. There's going to be a reason why he's trying to get Frank. I'm going to get to that in a minute. So they go, they trying to strike a deal with him. She's pregnant at the time. And with her being pregnant, Galactus is like, yeah, okay, let's make a deal then. Give me your baby and I'll save your world. They're like, no, we're not doing that at all. He wants the baby because Frank, like I said, he's an Omega level powered mutant. He can warp realities. He's going to have a big part of this new MCU phase that's coming up. Like I said, we're going to get into that. Um, he can feel the hunger that Galactus has because if you guys know, Galactus needs pretty much the resources from each planet to survive. He's a planet eater. He's a destroyer. That's what he is. So while they're in the midst of trying to strike a deal, Galactus scans his body on Sue, and he can see that the baby is in her, and that's pretty much everything he needs to keep himself going. So they're like, no, we're not going to do that. So they fight. Of course, there's a fight scene. Silver Surfer Shalabal, she's trying to get the baby as well, and they're like, no. So in the aspects of that, Galactus does something to Sue where she comes into premature labor. Not necessarily premature because Frank is almost there anyway. So it's like, okay, you just having your birth early. So they get out. There's a fight between Johnny Storm, Johnny Storm, which is Mr. The Human Torch. Working me here like this congestion is messing with, but like I said, we gonna get through this. The Human Torch, and they get on the ship. They're leaving. They're trying, but she's just resilient. She won't stop. So there is a black hole that Reed said go to so they can get away from her. So they go into the black hole. She gets sucked in. They go back to planet Earth, and as a matter of fact, they're not even on Universe 616. They're on 828. So this is a different universe. So now we're stepping more into the universe of the MCU. So since we're starting off with 828, this is a universe that's completely different from the main universe, which is 616. So 616 is the primary universe. 616 has Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America, uh, pretty much the universe that we know now that the MCU is portraying out there. So they step into 828, which pretty much means like, okay, they're like the first superhero family in a way, like the first superheroes in this. Even though there's like other superheroes, the Fantastic Four is like the first in this particular universe. There's more to that. So they get back to their world, their planet, because they had to go to like another dimension miles away, or not necessarily another dimension, just out there in space so they can find Galactus and Shalabal, which is the female Silver Surfer. And there's a story behind her as well of how she became that. So they get back to they're in New York, and people are happy because they think that, okay, yeah, we're saved, and they're like, yeah, no, we tried to strike a deal, we're not giving up our baby at all, and everybody's like, just give up the baby. How would you feel? Somebody said to save this, give up your baby. That's pretty much where they're at right now. So the Reed Richards, knowing that who he is, he's trying to find every way of trying to defeat Galactus without giving up their child. I mean, that's their child, so in their first child, and they've been trying after like 2 years to have a baby. Now I have to give my child up so the world can be saved. Um, but Sue, aka Invisible Woman, knowing who she is. I love this sidebar real quick. I love this because it shows the strength of the woman. It shows the strength of a woman, and it shows the strength of a mother of what she would do and what she would go through to protect her child. And there's a part in the movie when she comes down, makes a beautiful speech that I'm not going to sacrifice my child for this world, but I'm not going to sacrifice this world for my child. So there is a way to defeat Galactus. They're just trying to figure out how to defeat Galactus without, giving up the child. But they do use the child as bait. I'll get to that in a minute. So, sidebar real quick. There's a part in the movie where Reed is trying to come up with this device for teleportation. It actually comes up. He actually comes up with it, and it works out perfectly. Takes the egg, teleport it over here to the other side. So to defeat Galactus, that's what they're pretty much going to have to do. And it kind of worked that way, but it did it in the beginning. So let me backtrack a little bit. There's this intercom message that's coming in. So every time that uh, a world is destroyed, there's always this message or there's like this saying that comes out. So Reed actually gets one of the messages, plays it out, gets it, he gives it to the Human Torch. Johnny's all like, yeah, let me decipher this. And you may not think it's important, but it's actually important. So he actually deciphers it. And without that decipher and without that intercom that Johnny pretty much siphons out, I don't think they would have defeated them at all because it works out perfectly. So we see the smartness of the Human Torch because he's just this pretty playboy like he is in the comics, like he is in TV shows, movies, whatever. He's just a pretty playboy, but he's actually pretty smart. They just like to downplay it. So when the Silver Surfer and Shalabal, when she comes to New York for the first time, telling them that the world is going to end, you guys are going to die, enjoy yourselves while you can, tell your loved ones you love them, all that, shenanigans and everything else. The Human Torch, aka Johnny, follows her out of space and he grabs her board. When he grabs her board, she says something in her native language. And he takes that and he runs with it. So now he's deciphering everything. He's trying to decode everything. He's trying to figure this all out. And once he does figure it out, he uses it for his play to actually help them defeat Galactus and Silver Surfer Shalabal. She's really not a villain. She just did what she had to do to protect her family and her planet and stuff. So that's how she became one of the heroes for Galactus, because he was there to destroy her world. So she was like, if you don't destroy my world, save my child, I will be one of your heralds. I would search for planets for you with the best energy. Just don't kill my family. That's how she becomes who she is. She was a scientist on her planet, a mother. She just did what she had to do to protect her child and her planet. That's why I said that I like the aspects of what they did for motherhood, because it shows what a mother will do for their child. So I really did like that. That was really cool. So fast forward towards the end a little bit. Johnny and Charlotte Brown, they're have this little fight scene. They're going back and forth because let me backtrack a little bit about the teleportation part. So once they figured out how to defeat Galactus, Mr. Fantastic comes up with this idea of building teleportation devices all around the world. That way, instead of defeating Galactus, they can just take the world and they can teleport it somewhere else a million miles away. That way, when he does come and find Earth, it's like a million years down the line. So everybody can live their life. And knowing how the Marvel universe is, no telling what would have happened by then. Like a million years passed by. Like, come on now. But in the midst of all that, she meaning Silver Surfer, she comes and destroys pretty much all the teleportation machines, except for one. That was the one that's in New York. Johnny actually hits her out the way to save that last one. That last one's gonna be a big key to this. Follow me, Keith. Stay with me. Like I said, I'm kind of congested, but we're gonna get through this together. I promise you that. So in the fight scene, he stops, he talks to her, he plays the transmission that he has deciphered. 23 planets have been destroyed, 23 intercoms have been pretty much let out. He uses those to his advantage. he takes the one that's from her planet and he plays it for her. So she's like me and Stride about to attack him, and she stops because she hears people from her planet, from her world, and it kind of hits her in the chest, in the soft spot. But then he also plays the intercoms that he's the siphon of the worlds that she destroyed, that let her hear all the pain and the agony that she has caused by helping Galactus. So that touches her well. It makes her feel guilty, and she flies off. And we don't see her towards like somewhere towards the end. I'm gonna get to that too. So Johnny tells her like, "I'm just trying to save my world, just like what you did." So once she flies off, they meaning the Fantastic Four is getting together and putting together this diversion to get Galactus to get off his throne, to get out of his ship. Like they need him physically there. And we finally do, like I said earlier, we get to see Galactus, which I think is dope. Any other Fantastic Four or any other like big monster that we have seen, it's always been a cloud. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen the Green Lantern. Like, even with that particular monster, it was a cloud and then a face. The first Fantastic Four, it was just a cloud. And then like the machine just, so we haven't got to see Galactus until now. And I think it's pretty dope how they look. Like he looks like Galactus from the comic books. Like he got the horns, the suit, the purple, the colors, the eyes. It's dope. I love it. So he gets out. He's destroying New York. He's trying to pretty much find Frank because Frank is an Omega level power mutant. I mean, like he's up there with who's Omega? Like he's up there with Jean. He's up there with Magneto. He's up there with Professor X. He's up there with pretty much the X-Men, which he does play a part in the new, I guess we're say revamped X-Men that they have going on. If you guys seen the New Mutant, that was trash. They delete it. Don't bring it back up no more. It's like I get the concept of it, but whatever. Let's get back to this. So they meaning Fantastic Four use Baby Frank to pretty much use Galactus. I mean, excuse me. They use the baby Frank as bait to get Galactus there. So Galactus there. So they have this thing in the middle of Times Square, the last teleportation machine there. And they put Baby Frank in the middle, use him as bait. He's almost there, but I feel like they took him too soon as using bait because as soon as Galactus got there, they snatched him. Johnny like fried his eyes and did some other stuff, and he's almost there. He's like one footstep away of getting into the teleportation part, and he's like, no, something's not right. He scans the area and he sees that they have took Baby Frank and took him somewhere else. And it's just he's not slow at all. So I don't understand why they are trying to think that he's slow. I mean, he's cosmic power. You know, he's almost pretty much a god. Like, there's a whole backstory to Galactus. I maybe might do a video on it one day because there's so much to explain about Galactus and where he came from. Like, he's not even from this particular universe that it is now. Like, he's from a whole different universe that was destroyed and now he's here. Like I said, that's a whole nother story I can get into. I might actually do a video of that. But anyway, so once Galactus finds out that he's not there, they're like, okay, whatever. Now what's the plan? So Sue comes down, Sue aka the invisible woman, pretty much uses all her power. Like, she used every power in her to use her force to push him to that spot because he's trying to get the baby. And he has the baby in his hands. So they're like, that's too much power. You're pretty much going to die. She's like, I don't give a damn. Like, that's my child. Go save our child, Mr. Fantastic. Go save our child. And he looks at her like, okay, cool. All right, mama says go save him. I got you. So she uses all her powers, and that's like an Easter egg from the comic books as well, which I think was pretty cool. And it's just dope how they did that, and they finally get him into the middle part where the last teleportation beam is, and he gets through. They save the baby. Okay, cool. Everything's Gucci. Not yet. He makes his final attempt of trying to come out of the black hole, and trying to be like, yo, no, y'all not about to get rid of me that easy. Somebody's coming with me. So in the midst of that, Johnny is trying to be like, so Johnny was like, okay, I'm gonna sacrifice. I'm gonna sacrifice myself. Tell tell Frank that his uncle love him, and I'm gonna sacrifice myself. So he's almost there about to sacrifice himself, but Silver Surfer, aka Shalabal, comes and pushes him out the way, and she pretty much sacrifices herself and goes into the black hole. Black hole or wherever they sent him to, and Sue dies. When Sue dies, so Galactus, they're gone. And without his ship, they think like, okay, he's done. It's gonna take him a while to find his ship because he needs his ship to pretty much get his power and everything. So Sue dies because she uses pretty much all her power, and Richard is trying to Mr. Fantastic. He's trying to pretty much give her CPR. He's trying to bring her back, and nothing is working. Of course, the baby who being who the baby is, he meaning Mr. Fantastic puts the baby on her chest, and you can see just as a baby what kind of power he has, and he brings her back to life. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on this. I'm not too sure if he had powers to bring back people to life in the comic books. I don't think he does, but you can see like the cosmic powers that he has to bring her back, and you can see the purple, and you can see the colors that he's using, and she comes back to life, and they pretty much live a happy life after that, or so we think. So afterwards, the baby is 4 years old. Let's fast forward 4 years, 1969. 1969, yes. Well, before the 1969, hold on, let me backtrack a little bit. So they got rid of Galactus, Silver Surfer. Everybody lives happy after. They are doing interviews now. They are feeling good. They're taking care of the villains or whatever. Now they're about to do a press conference on a TV show. Everything's good until they get the beep on their watch. And when they get the beep on their watch, this is a cute part because I say it's a cute part because they all go to the car, and now they have a baby seat in this car, right? And it's funny because you got a bunch of men, you got two men and a rock man trying to figure out how to put the car seat in the car. And it's amazing. It's funny because I've been there before, trying to figure out how to put this car seat in, and you're just standing there like, whoa, how do I do this? And especially for having anybody like me, I'm like being a single dad is kind of like, okay, hold on. Let's figure this out together. Me and you, we're going to get this, okay? We don't need to call mommy. We got this. And that's pretty much how it is. And she's just standing in the hold of the baby smiling because it's like they're going to do anything and everything that they can to protect this baby. So I felt that part as well. I love the thing. I love how they mixed in motherhood and then the fatherhood because, of course, like every father, you want your child to, especially when it comes to a boy, you want your son to be better than you. And they're going to have aspects of you, but you want them to be better than you. And that's how Mr. Fantastic is looking at his son like, I want you to be better than me. You're already stronger than me, smarter than me. I just want you to be better than me. Of course, aspects of me are going to be in you, but I just want you to be better. And when he looks at his son, that's pretty much what he's probably thinking, like, just be better than your dad. So afterwards, let's jump back 4 years into the future. Here's where I give y'all the meat. Here's where it gets juicy. There is a cameo at the end. Sue and Frank is sitting on the couch. He's 4 years old at this point. And they're reading books, and they finish the book, and she's like, do you want another one? He's like, yeah, give me another one. So she went to go get another book, and you hear the whoosh. And when you hear the whoosh, it's kind of like, what's that? So she brings her powers up, and she's like, what is this? She walks, and she bends the corner, Who's there? Who's there? We finally see Dr. Doom, but we don't see his face. We see him holding the mask. We see the cloak over his head, and Frank is just looking at him and kind of like, oh. So that pretty much ends that for the Fantastic Four first step. So let's get a little bit more into it. There's a part in the movie where They are at like a NATO meeting in, how can I put this? Somebody is missing from there, right? So we think that, like, since I was watching this, it's kind of like a Doctor Doom may not be in this particular war, or if he is, he's trying to figure out everything as well. Because at the beginning of the movie, it just mentions them four meaning the Thing, Invisible Woman, Mister Fantastic, and the Human Torch. So it doesn't mention Victor like at all. So, and we all know not Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. is playing Doctor Doom in the new one. So the Russo brothers, and the screenwriting Stephen McFarlane, and they're being joined by the writer of Loki, John. Oh, wrong person. Michael Waldron. I have some notes written down so I can make sure I get this right. Don't judge me. I'm just trying to make sure I give you all the right information. Michael Waldron. They're loosely adapting the 2015 Secret War event, which features Doctor Doom as God Emperor Doom. I have to get that comic book. I don't think I've read that one. I've read bits and pieces of it, but that one I have to read for sure. I read a lot of comic books in my life, but I don't think I've got to that one. But he plays God Emperor Doom in using an apocalyptic events between universes, which he controls, to build a multiverse battlefield, battleground that he pretty much controls. So they might be going that way in Avengers Doomsday. We don't know yet, but they might actually be going that way from things that I've read and interviews that I've saw, that they're taking bits and pieces. Because no, not every movie is based off of like one comic. They like they take bits and pieces from everyone, and it's like they take one main comic and then take bits and pieces to liven it up more. So I think it's pretty cool. And then there's so much more to go off of the Secret Wars that was made in 2015, um, which I hope they do. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to get that comic before that movie drops. So, but this version will be used in the new Avengers. That's what it sounds like. That Avengers movie will be dropping May 26th. So there might be a cross between the Void, the TBA, and the Anchor Being that we've seen in Deadpool and Wolverine. So now that we get taste of the multiverse from Doctor Strange and Spider Man and all them, now you can bring in the TBA. Now you can bring in the Void. Now you can bring in different multiverses, different villains, different superheroes, different things that are in the comic books, which what we pretty much been waiting for. So bringing this Doomsday might actually be a good thing to do, and this Doctor Doom might actually be from a different universe. Simply for the simple fact that, one, we hear his time traveling whoosh that was in the background. He's nowhere to be found, and that he wasn't even at the NATO meeting that he rules over the I'm losing track of thought right here. Latavera, excuse me. Latavera. Ooh, Latavera. So, in this one, he might not be there, or he could be there. We just not knowing who he is or where he's at. But there's probably a good instance that this Doctor Doom is from another universe. And Doctor Doom could need Frank more than Frank needs Doctor Doom, because Frank, he's just he's one of the powerful babies that have been born. And we see that he can time travel as well, like Doctor Doom can take him and do whatever. That's probably why we see. So if you haven't seen the Thunderbolts, go see the Thunderbolts, because the Thunderbolts have a spoiler from Doomsday. So I was watching an interview, watching some stuff with Kevin Feige. He's the pretty much producer of the he's the face of the MCU right now, pretty much the behind the scene guy. And the cameo from when Doctor Doom shows up at the end of this movie, and then the cameo from the Thunderbolts, when you see the ship flying. Like I said, if you have not seen the Thunderbolts, go see it because there's a spoiler alert in there. There's a cameo that's very important to what's going on. And Kevin was saying that these two scenes are like prequel scenes from the actual like movie Avengers Doomsday. So when you see the ship at the end of the Thunderbolts, their ship is pretty much well made. You have the four. It's they're coming to Earth, and they're coming to Earth 616. Because remember, Fantastic Four is in World 828. So 9 times out of 10 that they're coming to 616 because Doctor Doom has took their child and went to 616. They probably made a stop in planet, I'm sorry, not planet, universe 10005, where the X-Men is. That's the X-Men world. So they probably made a stop there trying to figure everything out. And then they went to 616. Don't quote me on that. That's just, speculation. That's just like some things I've been hearing. That's just some things I put together. And that's probably like not too completely sure of how they're going to do it. But I did hear that after I wrote this down so I can give this to you right. So after this whole thing of Secret Wars Avengers, they are planning to reboot the MCU world. And when they reboot the MCU world, Frank, which is the child, the son, the baby of Sue and Mr. Fantastic, he plays a big part in reshaping the universe because he can reality warp. So he plays a big shape in revamping this. Kind of like how DC did with Flashpoint and Flash, how they revamped the DC world into the new 52 worlds. If you think about it like this might be the thing that they're doing just in the MCU world, using Frank to pretty much, you know, restart this whole thing to shape the universe as it is. So that's what Kevin, I have seen the interview, like read some articles about. That's their plan to reshape everything afterwards. So I think it's pretty cool how they bring Galactus is. Of course, Galactus, his power comic refers to the ultimate godly power. That's Galactus. And that's why he needed Frank to pretty much use him. He wanted to pretty much devour him, take his power so that a long suffering of hunger will go bye bye. He doesn't have to worry no more. So overall, I think the movie is a good setup. It's like an hour and some change, hour 35, about hour 45 and some change. So it's not one of these long 2-hour movies, but just how they did it was pretty cool. It's pretty dope. Like, if you pay attention to what's going on in the movie and catch the Easter eggs, like, you'll kind of understand and see how they are setting up and where are they going with this. So go see the movie. I kind of spoil it. That's okay. When you watch it, you can kind of understand and get the gist of what I am saying about this. So I think it's pretty cool. So are y'all gonna go see the movie, or are I gonna go see it alone by myself again? All right. So y'all stay up. Have a blessed day. I'm Chris, aka Mr. Vibin, hoping to give y'all some very useful information about what I have seen, learned, and heard. I'm out of here. I'm gone.